What is up, everybody? Hugo Nowhere back with another video. And in today's video, I just want to talk about what happened on SNL this past weekend. I just managed to actually catch up on everything that occurred, and I was told by a few people in my comment section in the last videos I should say, that something Stranger Things related was gonna drop when Finn went on SNL. Nothing did. It does appear that at this point in time, Conformity Gate is dead, and the writers of SNL, they had a lot of fun with that. If you're new here, I want to thank you so much for giving me an opportunity and clicking on the video. If you do like it, please go ahead and like and then subscribe for more of this content. Just so you guys know, I'm putting this at the beginning of the video now. I'm not always going to be talking about Stranger Things. It's just the one thing that I'm currently obsessed with. There's actually like 3 or 4 videos that I'm really excited to film soon that relates to Lord of the Rings and this show that me and my wife started watching called Dark on Netflix that is kind of like Stranger Things, as well as other ideas that I have. One of which is also One Piece, the live action. I'm a huge One Piece nerd. You see that? I've been caught up with the manga, watching the anime week by week, and I just want to talk about it because I'm really excited about season 2. Yeah, season 2 of the live action. So if you want to see that, please go ahead and stick around. I would really appreciate it. Enough of that. Let's just jump into this. So Finn Wolf, Mr. Wolf, went on SNL, and can I just say, dude is like a really good comedic actor. I think if he were to star in a comedy film or a show, I think that would fit him pretty well. I did see a lot of people in the comments talking about how well he was acting on SNL, that they wish they would have given him a better script for season 5. And I gotta say, I think it's a combination of the fact that I don't think the season 5 script was that good, and I think after you're in a very serious show for so long, when you get handed something completely different, which in this case is the complete opposite, you kind of have more fun with the role, and that really shined through in SNL. The Space Emperor bit, absolutely hilarious, dude. Absolutely, it's awesome. That kiss that he gives the I forgot his name. I think that was improv. The other actor seemed actually surprised that occurred, and honestly I feel like that kind of tied the entire scene together, what they were going for. We also got the Harry Potter spoof as well. I saw this really funny comment: this is getting added to the Finn Wolfhard gay cinematic universe. That should have been Will. And I will say this: the SNL writers were definitely poking fun at the Duffer Brothers. The other skit that Finn did was the Euphoria writer skit. That was probably my least favorite skit that they did for the night. But the fact that he's dressed like the Duffer Brothers, dude, icing on the freaking cake. I think Finn should do more comedy. I think it suits him really well, and he has a lot of charisma. There's just something about him, and a lot of people definitely seemed to also pick up on that too. But the Stranger Things promo, that's what they officially labeled this skit, brings back Dustin and Lucas, Caleb and Gaten. In this promo, they poke a lot of fun of people that were holding on hope to Conformity Gate being real. I love what they did with Steve. Obviously he ends up being a teacher slash coach at the end of the series, so it fits perfectly. And come on, that joke, he was 17 for 10 years, bro. Come on, it's so good. And then Nancy becoming somewhat of a detective, which honestly would fit her perfectly. I could see Nancy becoming an FBI agent, you know, put her in like a Criminal Minds type unit. I think she would thrive in that. It'd be so funny. And of course, they ended up expanding in Mike's writer journey. The skit totally gives off Sex and the City vibes. One of my personal favorite shows that I did watch when I was younger. Completely forgot what happened, and I should probably watch it soon. It is phenomenal. You have Dustin talking about him breaking up with his girlfriend, Susie Q. And then we have Lucas talking about his life with Max, poking fun at the whole she being in a coma thing. And they poked fun at Will's coming out scene. You know, all par for the course for what you expect from Saturday Night Live. I wasn't offended by this. I think this was actually really freaking funny. It's just SNL capitalizing on what's going on, which is right now the whole conformity gate craze. I did see that some people were a little caught off guard and were upset at this. Honestly, I don't think it's that deep at the end of the day. I think it's all jokes and I think it's all fun, and there's no reason to really get that upset about something like this. With that said, we got a few seconds of comments that were posted by a lot of people about episode 9. We got the alternate ending we've been waiting for, guys. Yep, they did it. We got it. Episode 9, check it out. I also wanted to mention just how good the chemistry of the cast is still, even when they're filming a skit like this. I genuinely believe they were back in their characters just to make this spoof, and I was here for it. I freaking loved it. Before this aired, I was hearing a lot of talks that something else was gonna drop on the 18th. I saw comments about it, I saw TikToks about the same thing, and nothing has come out. And I don't necessarily think a lot of people are believing in Conformity Gate anymore. I think a lot of people have moved on. I don't believe we're gonna get anything else, but I would be lying if I said that has stopped me from following a lot of people, especially on TikTok, who make videos making compelling arguments as to why they believe we will get something. I'm of the belief that if something does come out and I'm proven wrong, that's awesome, that's great. If nothing happens, that's okay too. Right now, my expectations are as low as they could possibly go. Nothing could hurt me. My heart has already been shattered the first time. I don't believe that we are going to get anything, but I want to present some of the non-Easter egg reasons why people still think that something is going to happen. As I mentioned, I've been following several creators. One creator's name is Kate, and then the other is named Whitney. I will link their TikTok account and the videos that I will be showing in the description of this video if you want to take a look. But this is a theory that I've seen floating around, okay? We got the Conformity Gate theories that have to do with all the Easter eggs and continuity errors in the show, right? But now I'm hearing something new. I'm hearing that the documentary wasn't a documentary about them filming the final episode, because those weren't the final episodes, or the final episode, I should say. But instead, the documentary is simply just a documentary of them making the fake ending, because the real ending is still gonna come out eventually.
I think we are watching a documentary. I think we are watching a documentary about the making of Stranger Things. But I think that we're watching a documentary about the ending that we were shown, which was actually written afterwards, which would make sense as to why they already had all the sets, they already had all of the locations, they already had all of the cast and crew. They had a basic outline for it, but they just couldn't complete it because none of it felt right. It explains why they go back and forth about how many times Elle should question whether or not she's going to end. It makes sense when you look at the post-its, and some of them are cut into a triangle. It makes sense as to why some sets have to be striked, but some of them have to be repurposed. It makes sense as to why some people are stressed about how this is going to end. It makes sense as to why people are uncomfortable with filming this out of order, because they want to film in that location twice, once for episodes 1 through 5, part 1, and then for part 2. I don't think this documentary is meant to mock the Duffer Brothers or invalidate anything. I think we are watching them struggle through how to create the fake ending. It makes sense as to why they're using ChatGPT. It would make sense that why everything we saw is on the whiteboards behind them. It makes sense why they're talking about the things that they want to trigger with us. If you rewatch that documentary with that in mind, we may actually be able to merge both of our groups.
And in speculation, people believe that we might get some sort of promo, a teaser, during the Super Bowl. I believe that takes place February 8th. Hopefully I'm right about that. If not, I will show the right date here. But why do people believe that? That was one of the theories that Kate brought up. But Whitney has a little bit of a different spin on it, okay? She's actually a paralegal who deals with a lot of copyright and independent property law. Why does that matter when it comes to Stranger Things? Honestly, I didn't know about this. It matters a lot. This is why.
Because if you don't own your IP, the evaluation for your business tanks. And when you're looking at shareholders and people who are investing in the company, They don't want the evaluation of the company to tank. They want it to rise because their entire purpose as a corporation is to make money. And that's exactly the same way that Netflix works. So when I went to check on the copyrights for season 5 of Stranger Things, I found something very interesting. Rather than closing out the season and sending in all of the episodes and the documentary to the Library of Congress to be signed, sealed, delivered with their copyright, we only have one episode of Stranger Things season 5 that has the official end copyright. It is finished. This is now intellectual property owned by Netflix. That is episode 1 of season 5. Episodes 2 through 8 and the documentary are not registered with the Library of Congress. So that means the IP, intellectual property, of everything that occurs in the remainder of the season and the documentary is floating in limbo. Their intellectual property isn't technically fully protected. Yes, of course, they have trademarks on fonts, they have trademarks on characters, but the storyline, the main idea of season 5 is technically not under full copyright. There are multiple reasons why this could happen, but for a corporation, this is a little weird.
I guess I just never thought about the fact that if you don't own the IP, the evaluation of your company, in this case Netflix, goes way down. And if you're not making money, well, that pisses off the investors. So the fact that Netflix has only actually closed out episode 1 of season 5 when they still have 7 more episodes to close out does seem a little bit weird. Why wouldn't they close out those episodes as final and then just make the revenue off of those, right? So that's why Whitney poses an argument that because they're still not done with that. Whether it's an editing thing that they had to do. I mean, we saw what happened with the, I believe it was the Under Armour logo that they had to remove from Holly's jacket. But anything like that would halt the process of them closing out the episode. And like she mentioned in the video, they apparently have to sign it, seal it, deliver it to the Library of Congress. In that video, we did get a screenshot of what that looks like when a company has officially closed out on the episodes. Okay, every single other episode of Stranger Things season 1 through 4 have it. It gives you a date, okay? And the date that we saw in that was, it was filed on the 26th when the episode aired, and then it got closed out on December 1st. So it seemed like the copyright turnaround was pretty fast. There have been people bringing up the point that maybe the filing is taking longer because of the fact that we just went through holiday season. But if that was the case, why didn't they submit all of the proper paperwork for copyright reasons for episodes 1, 2, 3, and 4 since they all aired on the same date? It kind of seems weird that they only submitted it for one episode. Besides the Library of Congress, there's another thing that exists called the Entertainment IP registrations, okay? And this is how I'm understanding it. When you release an episode for a series, you have to register it, okay? Right now, episodes 1 through 4 have all been registered. Only episode 1 though has been completely finalized, okay? Episodes 2, 3, and 4 are there, although not fully completed in terms of copyright. Episodes 5 through 8 and the documentary were there at one point, but now they don't appear anymore.
Now, this registry is great for legal reasons because it allows production companies, and especially when we're looking at the financial side of things. So your accounting is going to love the fact that there is a record of when you began production versus when you finished production, because of course they're going to have to calculate how much did this thing cost to make versus what's the revenue that's coming in. Your accounting is going to need copies of these things, a nice little trail of evidence to prove that this is when production began versus this is when production ended, so that they can calculate that revenue correctly. When something is on the registry, once the production is done, generally speaking, somebody from production will go in and close the registration. That signals that this project, this piece is finished. No investor is going to be happy if they sit down and hear that Netflix hasn't secured their IP. So while the registrations on the Entertainment ID registry are very compelling evidence, especially since they've had a pattern in the past of closing out all of their episodes, registering every single one of them under the season, that's very telling. especially since those are now missing from the registry.
Kinda suspicious. Kinda suspicious. So all of that is kind of making a little bit of a stir in the conspiracy gate believers. Because it deals with more legality, I feel like there's a little bit more weight to it. Netflix wants to make money. The investors that are putting money in Netflix, especially in the Stranger Things IP, want their money, right? I mean, who doesn't want their money? Especially when you're talking about millions and millions of dollars. So that in itself is still keeping conspiracy gates alive. If you care to watch more intelligent people explain this, like I said, please go ahead and follow them, watch their videos and kind of come to your own conclusion. All right. It has been really interesting to still hear people talk about Conformity Gate. Whether you believe or you don't believe, ultimately, if you're having fun with this theory still, that's awesome. Just please don't lose yourself to it, okay? Please. And if you don't believe it, don't be mean to people that do. Come on, that's common. Just do people common courtesy, guys. That's kind of what I've been following. And Slim Jim's still commenting on a lot of freaking videos, dude. What did you think of the SNL skits? What do you think of this this whole copyright theory and how we could still get more episodes because things aren't up to code in the legal side of things with Netflix? Anything at all, please let me know. Just keep it respectful, okay? Please and thank you. I do appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for subscribing and for liking and for sharing. It does mean a lot to me. I'll just see you guys in the next video, whenever that is. I'm Hugo Nowhere. You stay golden, and I'll see you in the next video.